Tunde sat in his car, phone to his ear, voice controlled, measured. My wife is missing. A pause. Yes, since yesterday. He ended the call, set the phone down slowly, and in the silence that followed, he didn't grieve, he calculated. His fingers moved to his jacket pocket, pulled out a folded document, property transfer, her name crossed out, his written over it. He looked at it the way a man looks at something he has waited too long for, then folded it again, carefully, like a man who knew exactly what came next. He went back inside, poured himself a drink, sat down. That was when the knock came. He set the glass down, straightened his expression. Grief takes practice. He had been practicing since yesterday. He opened the door, a policewoman, calm, professional, badge visible. "Mr. Tunde?" "Yes." His voice broke, perfectly timed. "Is this about your wife?" "We found something," she said. "You should prepare yourself." His face crumpled, hands trembling slightly. Everything performed, everything ready. A wheelchair was rolled forward, a body, covered, still. He exhaled sharply, stepped forward, one hand over his mouth. "No, no, please." He reached for the sheet, slowly, the way a man reaches for something he already knows will destroy him, and pulled it back. The body moved. His hand froze. The woman sat up and looked directly at him, not with anger, not with tears, with the stillness of a woman who had already won.
But to understand how she got there, we have to go back. Back to the river. Back to the morning when none of this had been decided yet. The river was quiet. Not the kind of quiet that rests, the kind that listens. Water moved slowly over stone, carrying leaves, mud, and things no one was meant to see. At the edge of it, a woman knelt with her hands submerged. Her name was Ada. She washed clothes for a living, not because she wanted to, because life had left her with no other choice. Her movements were steady, practiced. Dip, scrub, rinse, repeat. She didn't look up often. People who lived like her learned early attention could be dangerous. But that afternoon, she heard something, a dragging sound, heavy, deliberate. She paused, slowly lifted her head, and turned. A man was approaching from the dirt path above, tall, well-dressed, too well-dressed for this part of the river. In his hands, a box. No, not just a box, a large wooden crate. He was dragging it, not carefully, not gently, like whatever was inside didn't matter. Ada's body reacted before her mind did. She quickly lowered herself, slipped behind a cluster of thick reeds near the riverbank. Still, silent, watching. The man stopped near the edge of the river. He looked around, once, twice, carefully. Then he exhaled, as if confirming something to himself. Without hesitation, he pushed the crate into the water. It didn't float. It sank, fast, too fast, like something inside was pulling it down. Ada's breath caught in her throat. Her fingers tightened against the mud. The man stood there, watching the water settle, not worried, not nervous, satisfied. Then a smile touched his face, not wide, not careless, controlled, like a man confirming something had gone exactly as planned. He turned, walked back to his vehicle, started the engine, and drove away. The river returned to silence, but Ada did not move. Not yet. Her heart was pounding now, loud, heavy, out of rhythm, like her body already knew something here wasn't meant to be seen. She stared at the spot where the crate had disappeared. Her mind whispered, "Walk away. This is not your business." But something else, something deeper, refused. Minutes passed. Then slowly, she stood, stepped out from the reeds, walked toward the water, each step careful, measured, as if the ground itself might object. She reached the edge, looked down. Nothing, just murky water, moving like nothing had happened. Ada swallowed. She could still walk away, pretend she saw nothing, go home, sleep, forget. But if she did, whatever was in that river would stay there, and that she couldn't live with. She tied a rope around her waist, fastened the other end to a thick tree root, tested it, once, twice. Then, without allowing herself time to think, she dove. The water was colder than she expected, sharp, heavy. It swallowed sound instantly. Everything became pressure and darkness. She opened her eyes. Visibility was poor, but there, a shape, resting below. The crate, half buried in river silt. She kicked downward, strained, reached it. Her fingers brushed the wood, and then she froze. Her fingers pressed into the wood, and something pressed back. A shift, alive, not drifting, not shifting with water, moving from inside. Panic surged through her chest. Her lungs screamed, but she didn't let go. She pulled the rope, wrapped it around the crate handle, tight, struggled to secure it, her movements frantic now. Then she kicked upward, hard. She broke the surface, gasping, dragging air into her lungs like she had almost lost the right to breathe. Hands shaking, she grabbed the rope, pulled. Once, twice, again. The crate resisted, heavy, unwilling, but Ada did not stop. She pulled with everything she had. Mud, water, effort, desperation, until finally the crate broke free from the riverbed. She dragged it to the shore, collapsed beside it, breathing hard, staring, terrified of what she already knew. Slowly, she reached for the latch. Her fingers trembled. She hesitated, just for a second. Then she opened it. Inside, a woman, bound, unconscious, barely breathing. Ada recoiled, then immediately leaned forward again. No, no, her voice shaking. She quickly untied the ropes, pulled the woman out, laid her on the ground, checked her pulse. Faint, but there, alive. Stay here. Do you hear me? Her voice shook. Don't go back there, Ada whispered, rubbing her hands, trying to bring warmth back, life back. Moments later, the woman coughed, water spilling from her mouth, her body jolting weakly. Then she inhaled, deep, painful, real. Her eyes opened, wide, confused, afraid. Ada exhaled in relief. You're safe. You're safe. The woman looked at her, struggled to speak. Then finally, a whisper. He tried to kill me. Ada's expression hardened. Who? The woman's eyes filled with tears. My husband. A pause, then quieter. He didn't expect me to come back.